Hello, my name is Chris Healer and I'm CEO of a company called The Molecule. We're based in New York and Los Angeles, and we do motion graphics, visual effects, and other bits and bobs of post-production, which creates an extraordinary need for high availability of large quantities of data. When we first started about 8 years ago, it wasn't uncommon for a TV episode to have maybe 20 shots in it. 20 visual effects shots. And that's probably HD cam, probably 8-bit. Each file uncompressed is probably 8 megabytes at 1920 by 1080. So 20 shots, all right, you've got a few hundred frames on a disk, and everybody needs to get at them, and you may work on those things for a few weeks to a month, and it was difficult. You're working on single processor machines, Gigabit Ethernet was just coming out, HD cam was just starting to take hold of the industry at that point, and that's where we were at. Now, 8 years later, we do, instead of doing 20 shots in 3 weeks, we do 200 shots every single week, and we do them in full floating point color space, in 4K, 5K, sometimes in stereo. Longer shots, instead of 5 people working in a room, it's 25 people working in a room. Now it's not uncommon for a TV episode to have over 200 visual effects shots, and you might have a week, 5 or 6 working days to complete that, which means you've got to get about 25 artists all in the same place, all accessing the same data, while it's rendering on some other process. Currently we have about 300 or 400 processors rendering material while 25 artists are accessing it at the same time, and frequently, once you include backplates and CG material and everything else, a particular shot might be 10 gigabytes in and 300 megabytes out. So times have changed. It's not as simple as it used to be when it was 8 megs a frame in and 8 megs a frame out, and those were the salad days, but it's a new era now. We've progressed from having local storage on each machine to having different forms of network storage using NFS, Samba, a network attached framework. And it's changed from single gigabit Ethernet to bonded Ethernet to fiber channel systems and using storage attached networks. Our thirst for high-speed access to large quantities of data is unquenchable. For what we do, it's very difficult to provide a completely homogeneous environment as far as operating system, class of machine, version of operating system, and because of all the heterogeneous elements within the system, you really need a common element to tie it all together. And what the promised VTrak system provides is a storage area network where each operating system can connect in its own, using whatever drivers are necessary. And in particular, the A-Class line is very fast and very large and suits our purposes.